Well, quiet period is starting to come to an end in the middle of this week, and it looks like the Sooners are starting to get a hold of a couple more crystal balls. Now, we have not seen a commitment for 2024 yet, but I'm expecting one to come this weekend, especially because there's a March 4th Elite Junior Day coming up, and there's a lot of players on that list. We're going to talk about that list later this week as I confirm some of the names on it. But right now, I want to talk about two crystal balls that have populated over the last 24 hours for the Sooners and the significance of said crystal balls. But before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. Thanks for pulling up. I'm your boy, Jay. Go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification if you're new to the channel. We would love to have you here in the community. Also, thank you all for hitting up the community post and hitting those polls and letting me know how you want this content delivered to you. We're making a lot of it, and we're going to be implementing some shorts to give you quick information, as well as some of these long-form videos like this with highlights. So it seems like that's what you want. But if you're new, go to the community side, hit those posts. We'd love to get your opinion on what we're doing here on the channel. And so let's dive right into these two crystal balls that are coming down the line that once I saw them, I was like, ooh, let's go ahead and chunk that bad boy out there and tell the people what we got. So first off, we're going to talk about one particular player that we've talked about in the past, which is Nigel Smith out of Melissa, Texas. Now, Nigel is the 4-star top 50 consensus defensive lineman in the country. And he's definitely one of those players that he's going to probably be a difference maker. And because he's such a difference maker, I believe he's one of those players that's going to attract other players. And so I'm giving mad props to Coach Brent Venables as well as Coach Todd Bates going out there and really working hard on this player. He's coveted by a lot. As I mentioned before, we talked about him in another video. And so because of that, I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but we will go ahead and play some of his video while we're talking about him. So here's the measurables on Nigel. 6'4", 260. Like I said, a consensus top 50 player in the country. Just about everybody's got him at least in the top 100, with 24/7's gotten him in at number 38, which I'm expecting him to migrate it to 5-star status once we really start seeing the 5 stars be created this summer. But dude's a monster, and he's giving me the vibes of, I don't know, just elite athlete that just defensively can take people out. I mean, this is what we need on the defensive line. A lot of you had made mention in videos I've done before that we need this, and this is exactly what we've got coming down the line. And so everything about him tells me that this dude's a hitter. He's going to be a monster, either on the edge, and I think he'll probably bulk up even bigger and go right down the middle. We'll see what he turns out to be long term, but I'll tell you this, Oklahoma wins him. It's a done deal. And I think that they do with this crystal ball. Now, most crystal balls are not a guarantee, as we've seen in the past. But this one feels like it. And I'm explaining why in a moment. But let's jump into the next prospect. And I'll tell you why these two, I feel like, are locked in as Sooners. We have Caden Durham. So Coach Demarco Murray is doing what he does best, finding those running backs that we could definitely leverage here at Oklahoma. And it's funny because when I look at his measurables at 5'9", 180 pounds, I'm thinking, this doesn't feel like one of those I see you in me type things with Caden when it comes to Demarco Murray until I watch the film. So we're going to go to the film in a second, but let's talk about Caden as a top about 200 player in the country on the consensus side. He, of course, feels disrespected by the number. He's at 203 at 24/7 on their consensus. He's also at 204 with on 3. And he doesn't believe that there's 18 running backs better than him in the country. And I'm not mad at him for thinking that, because I'm watching him. And when I watch this film, this is the important part. Let's take a look at this. You know who he reminds me of in these runs? Who he looks like with these cuts? It's Demarco Murray. There was a video on his Twitter account that Caden had retweeted, was when they showed the Dallas Cowboys doing draw plays. And when they did a draw play, Demarco Murray was in the backfield. He took the handoff, made 2 cuts, and was gone up the field. And that's exactly what we see out of Caden here in this video. And his footage is that he hits a cut, he finds a hole. Young man's is gone. He's also a track athlete, runs the 100 meter. He ran it at a 10.7 and a 10.72 at the AAU Region 18 qualifier in July of 2022. So last summer, his sophomore year, he's running a 10.70, and his speeds are just going up. So at the Junior Olympics, he ran a 10.86, and that tells me that this man's going to got something special. Texas just gave him an offer on the 15th of February. So, of course, you know that if they're taking a look at him, Texas is known for getting good running backs. There's something special about him. Or they may be just going after him because Oklahoma wants him. And he's in Duncanville, Texas. So he's definitely a backyard player that you probably should go after. But besides all of that, just watching the film on this young man, like I said, he hits the cut, he's gone. I'm not seeing anybody sucking him up. I don't see anybody catching him from behind. It reminds me of Demarco Murray in his day here as a Sooner, as well as his time at the NFL. And what better coach to have than Demarco Murray teach you how to play running back? You know, he had a really good, stellar career, not as long as he would have liked, but he carried the ball a lot. So, and I also don't question Demarco Murray anymore, especially the track record this young man has as a coach, a running back coach at Oklahoma. And then we see the two youngest players we've got now with Javonte Barnes and Gavin Sawchuk. I'm not questioning what he sees. If he sees something special in him, now when it comes to Caden Durham, I see definitely Demarco Murray vibes in the way that he cuts. Look at this cut here. Just the way he just cuts up the field and he's gone is what you're looking for. Now, before we wrap this bad boy up, let me explain to you why I feel like these two are significant to talk about. As I mentioned before, we talked about Nigel Smith a few videos back and how he had got himself a crystal ball. Well, the latest crystal ball that they got, both of them got it from the same person, which is Jeff Ketchum. He is from Rivals. He's part of the Texas Insiders. So, with him being a Texas insider, putting a crystal ball to both of these players to go to Oklahoma tells me something. Even with journalistic integrity, I know that they have that over at 24/7. That's something, and at Rivals, as well as On 3 is growing in that capacity. But I know that at Rivals and 24/7, they definitely have that, and I appreciate it. They're not going to blow smoke at you when it comes to a rival school putting it in a crystal ball. They see it for their competition. They're going to go ahead and put it in because at that point they understand that there's no point in trying to pursue this player no more. They're getting the insider knowledge and information. And then, of course, Caden Durham decided to retweet the Covered Wagons crystal ball from the Futurecast that he got from Rival. So that tells me Caden's definitely pulling up, and I sense that Nigel's going to definitely do it as well. I'm hoping we get one this weekend because I would love to kick it off for the 2024 class with some commitments, but we'll see what happens. So, hey, if you're new to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, and bell notification. Also, jump in the comments. Let your boy know how you feel about these two players potentially hitting us this weekend or at the end of March if they come to visit one of the elite junior days and giving us a commitment. Go ahead and, christen the 2024 class. Love hearing from you all. Also, hop on the community post. Tell me what you think about all of those polls I'm putting up. I've got 2 more coming. I got one tomorrow as well as Wednesday. Told you I wanted to do 5 polls. Trying to get your thoughts on shorts, how you want this content to come to you, because I value your opinion, and I'm not making this just for me because I enjoy it. I also make it because I know that some of you enjoy it as well. So I want to make sure I'm putting out the best product possible for the crew. So besides that, YouTube's got a couple videos for you to check out. So go ahead and take their advice too. Peace.